We tend to view human history as a straight, continuous climb. We started in caves with sharpened sticks and steadily marched forward until we reached an era of steel, silicon, and diesel engines. But scattered across the globe are physical contradictions to that neat timeline. There are ancient monuments still standing today that require a level of logistical mastery completely at odds with our standard historical narrative. The architects behind these structures did not have access to wheels, advanced police systems, or iron tools. They worked strictly with bronze, copper, stone, and manpower. Yet despite those limitations, they consistently defied three strict laws of modern engineering: weight, precision, and perspective. Analyzing these sites forces us to confront an uncomfortable reality. Long before the Industrial Revolution, prehistoric civilizations engineered solutions that rival our own modern capabilities. The most immediate hurdle in ancient construction is raw weight. At the ruins of Baalbek in Lebanon, the scale of the foundation stones defeats simple explanations of human labor. Individual blocks cut for the Temple of Jupiter weigh between 750 and 1,700 tons. Moving a single 1,700-ton object today requires specialized heavy-duty machinery, the equivalent of lifting a small fleet of commercial jets. At the pyramids of Giza, the challenge shifts from the extreme weight of Sato stones to an overwhelming volume. The Great Pyramid alone consists of approximately 2.3 million blocks, each weighing anywhere from 2 to 15 tons. Historians estimate its construction took 20 years. To meet that exact deadline, the Egyptians had to quarry, transport, and perfectly place about 315 stone blocks every single day. That requires setting a multi-ton stone into its final position roughly every 2 to 3 minutes during daylight hours. Theories relying solely on wooden sleds, wet sand, and ropes struggle to account for this relentless, unyielding pace. The engineering feat here lies in supply chain management. Achieving this quota demanded a hyper-efficient logistical network, operating flawlessly without industrial technology. Moving millions of tons of rock is difficult, but fitting them together with laser-like accuracy introduces a second anomaly. At Sacsayhuaman, an Inca site near Cusco, Peru, builders utilized a technique known as mortarless masonry. Look at the 12-angled stone found in Cusco's historic center. Instead of cutting uniform rectangular bricks, they carved an irregular polygon that locks tightly against 12 neighboring stones. You cannot slide a single sheet of paper between the joints. This requires immense three-dimensional spatial awareness. Workers had to anticipate exactly how the unique contours of a multi-ton boulder would map onto adjacent, equally irregular blocks before dropping it into place. This puzzle-like construction served a highly functional purpose. The irregular, tightly interlocked joints allow the walls to absorb and dissipate kinetic energy. Over centuries, severe earthquakes have collapsed modern buildings across the region, while these Inca walls remain completely intact. They engineered earthquake-proof architecture using pure geometry. The final anomaly involves plotting massive structures that the builders themselves could not see. Drafting a blueprint on a table is one challenge. Executing a design that spans miles is another entirely. Created roughly 1,500 years ago in the arid deserts of Peru, the Nazca lines are sprawling geometric patterns and animal figures etched directly into the landscape. Standing on the ground, they look like shallow, chaotic trenches. Their true forms, spiders, monkeys, and hummingbirds, stretching hundreds of feet long, only resolve into coherent images from high in the air. This ability to design for a macro perspective is also evident in the United Kingdom. At Stonehenge, builders positioned 50-ton megaliths brought from miles away into a precise circular formation. They aligned these stones to perfectly frame the sunrise on the summer solstice and the sunset on the winter solstice, utilizing the horizon itself as a structural boundary. These cultures possessed an advanced grasp of spatial plotting. They mapped their architecture to the sky, tracking the solar cycle without surveying equipment or aerial vantage points. When faced with these impossibilities, modern culture often leans into science fiction. It is easier to credit extraterrestrials or lost magic than to confront the math. We suffer from chronological snobbery. Because we hold the smartphones and build the satellites, Our collective ego refuses to accept that humans thousands of years ago matched our intellectual capacity. The physical evidence left behind points to a different reality. Our ancestors were master logicians and engineers, capable of organizing vast populations and applying a deep understanding of physics to their environments. Human ingenuity has not traveled in a straight, uninterrupted line. Deep in the past, a high level of scientific wisdom was achieved and then lost to time, leaving us with silent stones that continue to challenge our understanding of history.